This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Hurricane Maria is now a Category 4 storm and moving toward the northern Leeward Islands.
For the very latest on the tropics and Maria's track, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first alert.
Well, right now we're looking at a major hurricane once again. The last 5 out of 6 storms have been major hurricanes, and the last 4 out of 6 have been Category 4 or above. So that's just incredible, the amount of energy that's in the waters right now, especially in the Atlantic, and we have a lot to go here in the Caribbean too. That's been untapped at this point. You can see the storm system is getting better organized in the last few hours. A well-defined eye, top winds now up to 130 miles an hour. It's becoming more symmetrical in appearance, and it could even go stronger as a result of the warm waters right here. The Dominica, Guadalupe, as well as looks like the southern portions now of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands are going to take a direct hit from that center, it appears now. Here's the forecast path and track. As we say, 155 miles an hour, just a little bit shy of a Category 5 hurricane. Would not be surprised to see this turn into a Category 5 here in the Northeast Caribbean and then right into Puerto Rico. Now, everything to the right is where the strong storm surge is, and get a look at that. Here is the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands just to the south thereof. So it looks as though they're going to get a direct hit from this storm. And then the Turks and Caicos, which were hammered by Irma, will get very close to the system. It could be anywhere within this cone, obviously. The news is, though, that the high-pressure ridge, which is driving this storm, doesn't appear is going to be expanding westward, and that's good news for Florida at this point. We are out of the cone well east of the states, but it wouldn't take much to shift it left, but it doesn't appear there's anything out there that would cause that to do that. So most of the models are in agreement. We'll take a look at those spaghetti models coming up in a few minutes. Right now, we're looking at generally fair skies up and down the coast, lots of clear skies. Great weather here. We'll let you know if that will continue for the rest of the work week coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to a dispute over hurricane shelters in Venice.
When Hurricane Irma was approaching the Suncoast, many people were surprised to learn there wasn't a shelter open in Venice for them to go. ABC7's Christopher Brantley has been looking into how this happened and joins us now live with more on that issue. Christopher?
Well, good evening from the Venice Community Center, which did eventually open as a shelter for the community, but that was against the advice of Sarasota County and emergency operations officials.
I had a goodly number of people in the city of Venice that were going to just hunker down at home, and I surely didn't want that.
Venice's Mayor John Hollick has harsh words pointed directly at Sarasota County officials who, leading up to the hurricane, did not open a shelter in the Venice area.
They want the city to cease and desist. Well, then do something. Get out there and do something before we have another season like we have this year.
Mayor Hollick ordered the city to open the Venice Community Center, which is rated to withstand a Category 3 storm. The county agreed to open the building on the condition that Venice takes full responsibility for anything that might happen. Plus,
we will not provide personnel, we will not provide food, we will not provide water.
Once open, the building quickly reached max capacity. In emails back and forth, Mayor Hollick slammed the county for not helping or providing a shelter for City of Venice residents. County Commissioner Charles Hines said there were other shelters open in the county, but none of them were close to Venice. Hines also said the building was not strong enough to handle the predicted storm and was in a low flood zone. So we pulled the original building plans for the Venice Community Center, which showed a similar elevation to other shelters. The county said the community center was at 13 feet when it's actually at 19 feet, a full foot higher than Riverview High School, which served as a shelter. Also similar to Riverview, the community center is rated to withstand a Category 3 storm and is in the same evacuation zone as Riverview. One thing both Mayor Hollick and Commissioner Hines agree, a better solution must be found, especially since hurricane season is not over yet. When we told Commissioner Hines of the building elevation troubles, he said he was not aware of them, but he said there will be a review on storm procedures, and this should be in it. He said if there's incorrect information, it should be corrected. Now, we reached out to the county as well, and they responded by saying they had incorrectly listed the community center's elevation. They did say they would not have opened the community center, though, because they said while the building is listed as a shelter, it was not originally built for the FEMA shelter rules. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. Being without power for days and in some cases more than a week can be dangerous in this heat. You can easily get overheated, but there are some warning signs for heat exhaustion to be aware of. They include heavy sweating, paleness, muscle cramps, tiredness, weakness, as well as dizziness, headache, nausea, or vomiting, and fainting. If these symptoms worsen or last longer than an hour, you should seek medical attention immediately. And if you or someone you know is still without power because of the hurricane, you can now get some answers more easily. Florida Power and Light customers in Sarasota County can go talk to an FPL representative in person. These representatives are inside a blue FPL tent right in front of Roberts Arena on Fruitville Road. You can ask them about the status of your outage and when power will be restored. You can also call FPL at 1-800-468-8243.
Well, it was similar to the first day of school all over again for students across the state.
Yeah, students on the Suncoast back in class for the first time in more than a week due to the hurricane. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo shows us how parents and students are faring.
I really want to cut down all my trees now in my backyard.
It's been a week since Hurricane Irma made its presence felt on the Suncoast. And for Sarasota resident Michelle Matuzak, she's seen this type of damage before.
Unfortunately, this is the second time for me. It's happened 16 years ago in the previous hurricane.
But this time around, she has two kids, one attending Southside School and the other Sarasota School for the Arts and Sciences. These trucks have been rolling down Matuzak Street, but she's still without power and dealing with damage from an uprooted tree. With all of that, she says getting her kids prepared to go back to school was challenging at best.
Felt like it was the first day of school again. You just had to get regroups, lunch is ready.
And parents will have a little help getting their children fed. Not only will free breakfast be available, but lunch as well. A program Matuzak says will help many parents.
I'm sure it's made a huge difference. There's still a lot of people without power. Everyone's had to throw away their entire refrigerators.
This gives them the food that they need for a healthy lunch and a healthy breakfast so those kids can learn.
According to Brookside Middle School principal Matthew Gruhl, it's a blessing for his students. And despite the stories of some being displaced from homes, he says they're doing well given the circumstances.
It's interesting how students are coming and asking how we're doing as adults. So they are very resilient. We welcomed them all in. We were standing outside as they were coming in, asking them how they were doing, waving at their parents, letting them know everything's great.
That was ABC7's Dwayne Lindo reporting. Oh, and warning now for Hurricane Irma victims. Scammers are already on the prowl, trying to take advantage of you in your time of need.
Yeah, these criminals are imitating Florida Power and Light workers, contractors, even water officials, trying to steal your money. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us with some helpful tips on how you can protect yourself. Jess?
Good evening, Jacqueline and Scott. It's still a little bit early to know what scams are happening post-Irma, but law enforcement expects similar crimes that happened in Houston following Hurricane Harvey to happen right here on the Suncoast. So they're warning you to keep an eye out for scammers. What Hurricane Irma victims are likely to see are people knocking on their front doors, pretending to be from Florida Power and Light, FEMA, or pose as a contractor. They'll either tell you they need to come inside of your home to turn your power on, then steal your valuables like jewelry and electronics. Another scenario is they'll ask you to pay cash up front for their services. Then you're left without a receipt and they'll never show up to do the service. Unfortunately, it's in times like these after a disaster like Hurricane Irma when scammers are known to take advantage of the vulnerable citizens.
As much as you want to get your house fixed, as much as you want to get your power on, you want to have you want to protect yourself because you have the hurricane and then you're going to have a disaster after that. So you want to limit your stresses and your problems. So you have to be your own best protector. You can't rely upon anybody to protect you but yourself.
Now coming up at 7 o'clock, I'm taking an in-depth look at the steps you can take to protect yourself from being the next victim of one of these storm scams. You'll hear from the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, the county, the Better Business Bureau about some of the warning signs that the so-called company you're working with is taking advantage of you. Jacqueline and Scott.
All right, Jess, thank you. Northport police are investigating a deadly ATV crash. Police say 41-year-old William Schumacher crashed an ATV near Carmela Avenue at Bayberry Street early Sunday morning. Police say he ran off the road and hit a palm tree and was thrown off the vehicle. Schumacher was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital's ER in Northport, where he was pronounced dead.
Now to new developments in St. Louis, where after a night of protests, vandalism, and violence led to the arrest of more than 80 people. Protesters gathered for the fourth day following the acquittal of a white police officer in the killing of a black suspect in 2011. The protests have been peaceful during the day, but taking a more violent turn at night. The previous 3 nights, people were seen marching in downtown St. Louis, breaking concrete urns, launching debris through windows, and clashing violently with police. Authorities are now warning that they will hold criminals accountable.
We're in control. This is our city, and we're going to protect it.
The Justice Department has declined to pursue a federal civil rights case against former police officer Jason Stockley in the killing of that suspect, Anthony Lamar Smith. Things were so bad over the weekend, both U2 and Ed Sheeran canceled concerts in the city for security reasons.
Well, still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, the fees just keep piling up.
The new price some airlines are now charging travelers that has to do with luggage. Straight ahead.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust. It's Lincoln Summer Sales Event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
It's going to be a little bit time consuming and probably a bit tedious, but worlds better than it could have been.
We can rebuild. There's no problem about that. You can put a new roof on a mobile home, or new windows in there. But as long as you have your life, that's all that matters.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Many American workers do not have paid sick leave. In fact, only 7 states have mandatory sick laws. So in many cases, workers who are sick and need to stay home lose money. But as Kim Hutcherson explains, those without paid sick leave can suffer psychological consequences.
Sometimes when you or a loved one is sick, you need a day off. For some people, that means a day without pay. That can affect your bank account, and recent research suggests it can have an impact on your mental health as well. Researchers from Florida Atlantic University and Cleveland State University examined data from nearly 18,000 people between the ages of 18 and 64. All participants had responded to the National Health Interview Survey, which is administered by the government. Researchers found that workers who did not have paid sick leave had statistically significant higher levels of psychological distress. They were nearly 1.5 times more likely to say that their distress symptoms interfered, quote, a lot with their daily activities than those with paid sick leave. The study's authors acknowledged concern that paid sick leave laws could place a burden on businesses. But they said it was important to also consider productivity losses and workplace costs associated with reduced mental health. The study was published in the American Journal of Orthopsychiatry. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, with over 2 months to go in the hurricane season, we've already had 13 named storms, and look at those major hurricanes, starting with Harvey, and then we had Irma, Jose, Katia was a major storm at Category 3 status, and then Lee, just a tropical storm, but Maria now a Category 4 and could turn into a 5. The next names up, Nate, Ophelia, Felipe, and Rena. So again, we could see an additional 4 more storms before it's all said and done. Arlene actually developed well out of the season, too, an early arriver there. Anna Maria webcam showing fair skies today. Lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures still where they're supposed to be, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. We'll start to cool down in the mornings. You'll notice that. I noticed it this morning. Lower humidity around with that east wind, temperatures in the low 70s to start the day off. Well, the moisture and humidity is on the east coast, kind of a low pressure trough left behind from, again, our friend just to the north, and we'll talk more about that particular storm and how it may dance with Maria as it heads off to the north. But right now, Jose still out there off in the Atlantic. Right now, some showers left behind, as I mentioned. Not much going on here. All is quiet. A few heavier storms offshore, and that's pretty much where they will stay. We're not looking at much rainfall here. A few spotty showers in the inland counties, not out of the question. Well, Jose continues to spin right there, just off the coast of Virginia now, and just to the east of North Carolina. It's not doing much. It's actually getting into a loop again, but all this dry air has moved down into it or near it, and so it's not intensifying. In fact, it's expected to go down to a tropical depression, and looks as though we will see the dry air thin out a bit here, and that means a little bit better chance for a few spotty showers beginning by midweek. The evening planner looks good tonight. We'll have generally fair skies, upper 70s by 11 o'clock tonight. No real threat of any rain here at all. And currently the pressure is at 29.91 inches, falling ever so slightly, and the heat index at 93. The dew point is at 73. The high today was right at the average. You don't see this very often. And the low was right at average, 89 and 74. The record high, 95, set back in 2005. Well, the rainfall amount for this month, well above average, 8.75 inches, and our yearly total at 58.26. That's 14.93 inches above average. This is an amazing storm that, again, rapidly intensifying. Conditions are favorable for it to get even stronger. Top winds are at 130 miles an hour, and it's headed right there for Dominica as it makes its way off to the west-northwest. They could take a direct hit, and I suspect winds will be up to about 145 by the time it reaches them. Now, the forecast path and track takes it off to the northwest, eventually into Puerto Rico, and notice that cone of uncertainty staying away from the U.S., but still hitting some of the islands that were battered by Irma just actually a week ago for that matter. And you can see the Bahamas also going to get that. As far as the cone of uncertainty, well, they're all kind of following the spaghetti models right now. There's no real threat of any models coming over in our direction. You can see that kind of stays off to the east of us as a result of the high pressure ridge not building west at this point. And it's going to be on the western periphery of that high, which will carry it off to the north. It could actually meet up with whatever's left of Jose in about 6-7 days from now. Jose, top winds are at 75, but expected to drop below that fairly soon as a result of that dry air moving on in. But notice that cone of uncertainty is not much of a cone. It's a circle of uncertainty. It could be with anywhere within inside here in the next 5 days as it kind of just hangs out there. And again, Maria headed off toward the west-northwest. We'll get to the marine forecast now. For boaters, it looks like pretty good weather. Northeast winds turn to the north at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet. The light chop in the bays and inland waters. Water temperature now at 84 degrees. Tides upcoming for Sarasota Bay, 7:18, and a low tide at 12:54. Mostly fair, mild tonight, 72 for a low, and the extended forecast looks good. 20% chance only on Wednesday. Boosts up a little bit to 30% on Thursday, and then Fall arrives on Friday just after 4 p.m. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. Right now, there is an accident in Manatee County. It's on US 41 in the northbound lanes at Florida Boulevard, so you may want to avoid that area.
Well, if you fly often, listen up before you try to bring luggage onto a flight as a carry-on. Make sure you check the airline's policy beforehand. Several airlines are now charging what critics are calling a punishment fee. You have to check your bag at the gate. Some airlines will charge you extra. And if you book a basic economy ticket, some airlines now won't even let you use the overhead bin. That means if your personal items will not fit under the seat in front of you, you'll find yourself pulling out your credit card.
Well, Toys R Us could be on the verge of bankruptcy if the company indeed decides to file for Chapter 11. The reports seem mixed on when the company would file. The news comes as many retailers prepare for the holiday season, which is an especially critical time for toy sellers. Earnings reports from Toys R Us have shown that the company recently lost money by the millions. In the first quarter, Toys R Us reported a net operating loss of $164 million. It'll be interesting to see if they claim that before the holiday season.
That
Scott.
might be their saving grace.
I know.
Yeah. Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Discover all the reasons the experts love Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $189 a month, or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
Actress Kate Walsh is opening up about her battle with a benign brain tumor.
Walsh says she had the tumor removed 2 years ago and is now fully recovered. The former Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice star tells Cosmopolitan that she suffered physical and cognitive problems before being diagnosed with a tumor in her brain, which was the size of a small lemon. Walsh had surgery to remove the growth, and it was later found to be benign.
Former Fox News contributor Meghan McCain will soon join The View. 3 sources tell CNN that McCain is in late-stage talks with ABC to join the daytime talk show, although it's not a done deal just yet. McCain is the daughter of U.S. Senator John McCain. Most recently, she's been a Fox News contributor, but she announced last week that she is leaving that network.
Well, Lady Gaga is postponing her world tour in Europe until next year due to health problems. The 6-week part of the Joanne World Tour was set to kick off in Barcelona on September 21st. The tour's promoter says Lady Gaga is suffering from severe pain that has impacted her ability to perform and is now being cared for by medical professionals. The 31-year-old singer-songwriter has already pulled out of 2 other performances within the past month.
Hulu outshines Netflix with The Handmaid's Tale, and HBO's Veep takes top honors again. The Emmy Awards last night beat out Modern Family. The part of the show was the Emmy Awards, and Veep beat out Modern Family and Silicon Valley for Best Comedy for the 3rd year in a row. More than 11 people tuned in to watch the Emmys last night, slightly more than last year's audience count, but that was the lowest rating ever for the awards show, so they don't have too much to celebrate. Stephen Colbert hosted last night's program.
Interesting. I always usually look forward to that, but I wasn't able to watch it last night. Were you?
I watched some of it. Yeah, I was in and out. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not all my favorite shows won.
Right.
So that's how it always is, though. More news is next. Stay with us.